A postcard blitz targeting the White House. The group hopes to bring attention once again to Pastor Saeed Abedini, still imprisoned in Iran after more than 2 years. Joining us now to talk about this blitz is American Center for Law and Justice's Jordan Sekulow. Thanks for joining us, Jordan.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us about this postcard campaign. Why have you chosen this strategy?
Well, this is a great example of how we're prepared to think outside the box and also work with people who may be watching this show right now and heard about Saeed's story and his plight and his family here in the United States. And we're trying to figure out how they could help. And that's the story here. It's an individual woman named Melody Aguilar who has a printing company and contacted Nagma Abedini, Saeed's wife, and asked about whether or not a postcard blitz to the White House, that her company put out the postcard, but she wanted to make sure the message was good, that it was a united message. And so we decided to not only okay the effort, but really endorse it and encourage churches and groups to purchase these postcards. The message is pre-approved, so it's a united message. You don't have to worry about crafting your own message to President Obama. And it's a simple message that we don't leave anyone behind. President Obama said that in his speech to the DNC in 2012. And we're at a situation where Iran and the United States are at the nuclear negotiating table. The deadline for those negotiations is supposed to be November 24th. And we believe a very strong message needs to be sent that there should be no deal whatsoever with Iran if Saeed is not home.
What do you think is holding the United States back right now in regards to Abedini?
Well, you look at what just happened in North Korea with the two individual Americans there, one who was imprisoned because of his Christian faith, or the Marine in Mexico. When the administration gets pressure, it takes action in even the most difficult places. Mexico had people scratching their heads a bit because that's an ally and a close neighbor. But again, they got it done eventually. In North Korea, a more difficult situation, more similar to Iran. But we're not in a nuclear negotiation. So I think the administration has unfortunately done what Iran has not. Iran is not seeing Saeed as someone separate. He is an American, and so that because he's an American, he's tied to these talks. They're at the table with Americans for the first time since 1979. They're getting sanctions relief, but time is running out on that clock. So for the first time, we never wanted Saeed to be a pawn in these nuclear talks, but now we realize that if something was to be wrapped up and Saeed is still in prison, the U.S. has missed a major opportunity to get him home. This is the time when we have some leverage.
Jordan, we heard a few days ago that Saeed's mother and siblings were recently forced to flee Iran because of the threats she was receiving. Do you have any updates on that and how it could affect Saeed?
Sure. Well, he's in a very difficult situation right now because he doesn't have immediate family on the ground in Iran. Now, that may change. I don't want to give any too many details because I don't want to put anyone in danger more than that family has already been. But the mother, just imagine that, the mother of Saeed harassed to the point where she felt it was no longer safe for her to be there, even though she was really a link to the outside world for her son. So that's the situation. We think that maybe when we're across the table with Iran, they would be treating this American somewhat differently. And there have been ups and downs throughout this case. We're at day 779 of Saeed's imprisonment. But ultimately, things have gotten very tough. We're at the table with Iran currently and at least until November 24th. So it's a time when, if you can take a postcard like this and go to our website, aclj.org, or the printing website as well, which is available and is out there, and as a church, as a leader, and make sure that the White House gets this message loud and clear through any means possible. And I hope this is an inspiration, this postcard campaign, for people out there who may not be the ACLJ and may not work in an organization like ours and wonder how, or they can't broadcast like CBN News, but wonder how they can help. Be creative. And if you come up with a good idea, you may end up just like Melody here, who came up with this printing idea for the postcards.
All right. Thank you, Jordan. And to learn more about how you at home can help, don't forget to visit cbnnews.com.